No, you're a TVO listener. What's wrong with you?
Like, and the worst part was in my 20s, I'm like, I remember turning to my wife and going, I'm going to watch this when I'm older. Like, I know this is going to happen. I hate this.
Welcome back to Poutine Politics, Canadian issues served with cheese curds. My name's Adam.
My name's Mike.
Today, we're talking about COVID-19.
I'm going to punch at him right now. Okay. For those of you that managed to listen to me for a while, I usually don't get triggered very often. I mean, I lay claim to me getting triggered on Facebook.
I don't like that word.
What, triggered?
I hate that word.
What word would you rather me use?
I don't know. I
Ranty?
mean,
angry?
Yeah, sure, angry. I just hate the word triggered. Sorry,
whatever.
continue.
This is my gun supporter in me. And I'm not going to refer to it anything other than COVID-19 because the other version is something you drink with a lime. So we're good there. But yes, it is COVID-19. Okay, so I have a bunch of different problems, not with the virus itself because it's a virus, but what has happened as a result.
Mm-hmm.
And the first people that I love to pick on is the media.
Yes.
Oh,
do it.
My. When you run a 24 hours news network, I understand that you have to try and find stuff to broadcast, but when you run a breaking news episode that says the World Health Organization is declaring no emergency, and otherwise known as they did nothing.
Yeah.
That's not breaking news. Doing nothing is not breaking news.
It's like MH370 all over again. You know, oh, it's the 5th anniversary of MH370 disappearing. Is there any new updates? No. All right. Well, you know, chances are we're not going to find anything out about that
why don't
point
we go
anyways.
why don't we go to the power panel to find out 5 different opinions about
Let's
nothing,
make sure we have 3 conservative pundits.
about what is going on. Like, okay, so, and this has been going on. Like SARS was the same thing. MERS was the same thing. The swine flu, Ebola
again.
Ebola again. And you know what's really sad is that there was, and I wish there still is, a newscaster out there, a news anchor that had the fortitude, we'll call it, to tell it the way it is. Unfortunately, there was only one that I've ever seen. And he's no longer there. Do you even know who I'm talking about?
Well, where, I guess?
In the U.S. He was a U.S.
in the U.S.
newscaster.
Newscat. Okay. Dan Rather?
No.
No. Okay.
Shepard Smith.
Oh, from Fox.
Right?
Yeah.
Fox News.
Yeah.
The right-wing conspiracy theory network.
Yeah, but Shep was a good journalist.
Shep was a fantastic journalist.
Yes.
Who told it the way it was. Because I remember when everybody was all upset about the Ebola, and you went to CNN, and I swear it was going to have like a disease crawling across the screen. Shepard Smith is like, listen, this is what the facts are. And I loved him. He was always like, this is what the facts are. Right now, there is 5 reported cases in the U.S. All 5 are from doctors that came back from Africa. All 5 are being treated currently. They're in quarantine. There is no reason that this will spread. If it does spread, I will tell you first.
Yeah.
But if you hear anything else about any kind of scare or anything like that, it's simply not true.
Okay.
And that's the way he approached it. Like he just like had center stage, was like, oh, Shepard, oh, that was good. And ever since then, I love Shepard Smith.
Yeah, but he's not on Fox anymore now.
Yes, because he resigned due to I want to report facts, and Fox News was like, what now?
What? What do you want to do? I don't understand.
Right?
What are facts?
Like,
what are facts? Let's look that up in the dictionary. Facts. I don't see this word here.
Hannity, what are facts? Oh, right. Okay, so what people need to realize, and this is why I don't watch the news or pay attention to the news cycle as it is in Canada right now, is that they are designed to get viewership. So they're not going to report on, I wouldn't say they don't report on facts. I don't want to say that they're lying, but they're misleading for sensationalism. They're trying to get the most views, but they do not care about the impact that they do.
And why are they trying to get the most views?
Because that's the only way that they survive, because they need money from advertising.
Right.
And you need to have eyes on the screen in order to do that.
Yeah. The only way you're going to get the advertising dollars is if you can show that you have so many people watching, or listening, especially within certain demographics. Like the important demographic is 18 to 49. Generally, male 18 to 49 is the demographic that a lot of advertising still looks at, right?
And the other thing too, I mean, I don't know if you've turned on the nightly news in like the last...
Only if I happen to be somewhere where it's on the TV.
Right. But like, it's so sad. Like, I can almost predict reliably what's going to happen on any given night. The first thing will always be the latest breaking headline.
Yes.
Okay. That doesn't impact you in any way, shape, or form. Regardless if it's local or not.
Yep.
It doesn't impact you. So you shouldn't even worry about it. Then they're going to have their, what they consider their good news story.
Yes.
Right.
Because they have to bring you back down.
Bring you back
after
down.
stressing you out.
And then they're going to target it, the really hyper accentuated, really, really bad story that they want to talk about.
And that's the one that has like the longest, usually has the largest part of the news broadcast as well.
That's right. Then they'll go to sports. Then they'll go to weather. Depending which order is most important.
Yes.
If your local team's playing that night, then sports comes first.
Yes.
If the bad weather, then weather comes first.
Yes.
And then they'll come back. And at the very end, they'll go back to the feel-good story that they started with.
That's right.
To try and pretend like they're balanced. So I like, and that's why I stopped watching the news, because I was like, this is the same stuff. We're all going to die. We're all doomed to death tomorrow. And, you know, the world is the most corrupt, corrosive place. Everyone's out to get your money. Everyone's out to get you. So my problem with the news media is that they just promote COVID-19, 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 COVID-19. So
you got to say it 3 times or more for effect.
Right. So, and I want everyone to know about how little I care about COVID-19. I cared less about SARS.
Yeah.
No, I cared more about SARS than I did about this one. And I worked at the casino at that time where SARS was a thing that I should care about. And I didn't.
I guess because of the environment you're working in. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a lot more of a Chinese influence, I'll say.
Well, because SARS was a similar issue, right? Like, I mean, it originated in China.
Yeah.
Just like COVID-19 has originated in China.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, obviously that's where they figure that the epicenter of it obviously is because of the cases in Wuhan, the number of cases in Wuhan. But yeah, like it's like a similar situation, and it's a similar kind of virus. But I think like you've said before, maybe not while we've been recording, but there's numbers out there that show that SARS was more virulent than COVID-19.
Yeah. So I'm getting to like the facts of it. So the meat and potatoes of it, what I would like to say is that you were more likely from a mortality perspective to die from SARS than you are from COVID-19. You're
probably more likely to die from the flu.
You are.
As well.
No, you're 10 times more likely to die from COVID-19 than you are from the flu.
Oh, all right. Okay.
But here's where it gets fun. So what are you more likely to die from in general?
Okay.
Not if you contract the disease itself necessarily. Like, because if you contract COVID-19, obviously the mortality rate, which is how likely you are to survive the disease.
Yeah.
But the reality is that, for instance, you are more likely to die from the everyday flu.
Yeah.
Which COVID-19 is the flu. Then you
keep going. Keep going.
It's part of SARS, which is anyway, doesn't matter. So it's all the viruses. We'll just call it that.
Okay.
So you're more likely to die from something like flu, seasonal flu, than you are from COVID-19.
Right.
There are more people have died from the flu than have died from COVID-19.
Well, okay. I think I saw a number just in the last couple of days that just this flu season alone, what is it, 36,000 Americans have died from the flu?
Yeah, something like that.
So, and meanwhile, the confirmed deaths for COVID-19 so far is like not quite 20. Yeah. In the States.
So COVID-19 has right now, as it stands, a 1.4% mortality rate.
And I also read about that. That's also based on people that they can confirm that actually have it.
That's right.
Like part of the issue right now is testing. There was an article I saw where it's saying that the U.S. currently has the highest mortality rate for COVID-19, but part of the reason for that is because people are not getting diagnosed because they don't have the tests.
Yes, it's no, the tests aren't there because it's a brand new disease.
Right.
So 1.4% as it is right now is probably going to go down. Also, it's not like MERS, the Middle East one, respiratory system one.
Yeah, MRSA. Yeah.
Where it was equal across the board no matter what kind of, like how old you were, what kind of health. This one specifically targets the elderly. Like 80% of those deaths are in the elderly. So they're already compromised.
Well, and again, this is just based on stuff I'm reading. It's not like I'm a doctor or anything like that, as we've already determined on previous episodes. Is the fact that it's, like the predominant target of it is, one, the respiratory system. Well, people who are elderly generally have, respiratory systems that already have at least some sort of compromise to them in comparison to someone who's younger. And then it also affects the immunocompromised, which, again, predominantly speaking in society, there's more elderly people that are immunocompromised in comparison to any other generation.
Yeah, and I don't have specific specific numbers as far as who's immunocompromised and who's not, or any levels like that.
Right.
This is general. But here's some things that you're more likely to die from.
Okay.
Than COVID-19. The everyday flu.
Yes. Okay.
SARS or MERS, if you contracted it. If you contracted any one of those three,
yes,
COVID-19, SARS, or MERS, you're more likely to die from SARS or MERS than you are from COVID-19.
Okay.
Drinking and driving.
Yeah.
And that's the one that really, when I see news reports about COVID-19 and I see none about drinking and driving, that one makes me very upset.
Because people already know that drinking and driving is bad, Mike.
They don't know the extent. And that's what makes me angry.
Yes.
Because this is why I would never be a news anchor. I would be like, okay, and this is the number of people that died in our region from drinking and driving this week, right?
Yeah.
And that would be my statistics every single, like when it was like, oh, we need a bad news story. Okay, we'll talk about drinking and driving for the 7,000th time until people stop doing it.
And that would be like you do that on like the Friday night news before people decide to go out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just so you remember, last week, so many people died from drinking and driving.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, right? Like that's, I would have a running segment about it.
And then be like, you're supposed to have a feel-good story at the end of the news. And it's like, yeah, the feel-good story is people should stop being stupid.
Right? Obesity.
Yeah.
No problems.
Yeah, I did see that. I read that one too, yeah.
Mosquitoes.
Okay, fair enough. With you're talking like malaria and West Nile virus and whatever else, anything that mosquitoes are carrying.
But my favorite,
yeah,
or least favorite, depending on who you are, snakes. Now I feel like I'm in a Simpsons episode.
That's it. It's time to reinstate Whacking Day.
Right. As soon as I read snakes, all I could think of was, oh my God, Whacking Day, Whacking Day, Whacking Day, Whacking Day. So when I say this isn't a problem, did you know snakes was bigger?
No,
I didn't.
No.
Not before I did any research. When I saw this, like, that's amazing. But like, I know I'm taking, so to speak, as the British say, the piss out of it. But
yes.
I am taking the piss out of it because it's still like people. It's not a thing. Like you're worrying about the wrong things.
I think it would be a different story. Maybe. I think it'd be a different story if at this point there was like 10 times the confirmed cases that there are right now. Right? Like if we're again, even a million confirmed cases in a world of 7.7 billion people is like a drop in the bucket. But I feel like if we had a million or more confirmed cases of people that have contracted COVID-19 in comparison to currently being around 100,000, there would still be a little bit more of like okay, this does seem kind of serious. Right.
Yeah.
Now, if the mortality rate is still extremely low, like in that 1.5% to 2% range, again, it's kind of like okay, that's bad, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, and this COVID-19 isn't that much more extreme than the average flu.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's probably going to end up being about what the average flu. It's just going to be a spike in the average flu season.
Right.
So. Oh, and face masks don't do anything.
No,
stop buying them.
Well, and that, what I mean. Health professionals, especially online, have been saying that it's like stop buying masks, stop stealing masks from hospitals. And stop going to Costco and running them out of supplies because you think you're going to have to be holed up in your house for the next 6 months while the rest of the world is dying. I mean, come on, wash your hands. Yeah, wash your hands properly.
Wash your hands properly.
Don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face. Wash your hands properly. Don't touch your face.
Which I'm terrible for. Ever since I started growing this beard, I'm terrible. I touch my face all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's wrong with me?
You're safe.
Oh.
So speaking of supplies.
I'm looking at your next video.
And
all right, go ahead.
When I found out this was a thing,
yeah,
I lost my mind.
Mm.
Toilet paper.
Yes.
Why are you people dumb? Why are you people dumb?
Do people literally think that they're going to contract COVID-19 and they're going to themselves to death?
I don't know why. I don't know why it's a thing. Why are people stocking up on toilet paper? Okay, if you're a doomsday prepper, okay,
Yeah.
you know toilet paper is way down on the list of priorities.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Guess what?
food that is non-perishable. Like, that's where you would start, not toilet paper.
I get cans.
Yeah.
I could see because we went shopping the other day at Costco.
Yeah.
I could still get canned food.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so this isn't that bad. And my wife's like, no, you have to go see the toilet paper. And
Did you go back to the toilet paper? Was it completely out?
It was gone. There was nothing in sight.
People are building forts of toilet paper.
We went back there,
Oh.
and I looked at the guy, and I was like, the employee, and I was like, so is this your toilet paper section now? And he's like, yeah, I was gone within the first 2 hours. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. And and the other guy we were with goes, oh, I guess this is the organic toilet paper because there's a whole bunch of trees. Right? If you're a prepper, like, toilet paper isn't even on the list of things you need to worry about.
Yeah.
Because really and truthfully, like, if you have a face cloth or like a rag, you can reuse it as toilet paper.
Yeah.
You just need running water.
Yeah. And
So
a way to sanitize it, I guess.
Yeah, you have to bleach it and everything else like that.
Yeah.
But still, you can reuse it. It's
Yes.
not that hard. Or you bidet it and be done with it.
Like, I have to wonder too, like, in an absolute worst case scenario where it's like doomsday, utilities go down and things like that. What are you doing with all that toilet paper that you're using? I mean, there's no toilet to flush it down anymore because the water's not running. Right? What are you going to do with all of it? What's the point? Is that what you're blowing? I guess maybe if that's what you're using to blow your nose or something, we're going to make face masks out of toilet paper.
Like, I don't understand the run. And the worst problem is, okay, so it's just, first of all, it's kind of like the toilet paper runs are kind of like the bank runs of old. People would go to their bank and find out, oh no, everyone's taking out their money. I better take out my money. So it's the banks, I don't know, people may or may not be aware of banks, even though you put your money in there, they don't actually have the money. They loan their money out. That's how they make money.
I think I don't know if it's this way in Canada. I know it's very similar, but I think in the States it's like banks only have to have 10% of their holdings in cash.
It's a fractional reserve something. I don't remember.
A fractional reserve system, yeah.
Yeah. There's technically for it. Who cares? The point is they don't keep your money. And what happened was people would come in and try and take all their money. The bank couldn't pay them all out. So the bank would collapse and then people would lose their money. So you had to get there first. So the same thing's happening with toilet paper. People are going to get toilet paper. There is no toilet paper. So the average individual, it's like, well, okay, I need toilet paper now because it's like been 3 weeks. So I need to buy, a couple rolls. There is none because other moron has bought 4 cases of it.
Yeah.
So now everyone's in a solution where we all have to go get it because if we don't, we're not going to have toilet paper, which is so dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb. And the reason why is because now the toilet paper manufacturers are running round-the-clock shifts to produce more toilet paper, which eventually
will increase their stock prices.
Yeah, they will. But what's going to end up happening, and this is the part that I like, is eventually it's going to reach where the preppers and the morons will stop buying it in bulk, and then the people that are just worried about it because they're worried they're not going to have toilet paper because the preppers and the morons
are buying it out. Yeah,
are buying it out. Well, the preppers aren't because the preppers are like, we don't need toilet paper. The morons are.
Okay, fair enough. The preppers have already figured it out. They're already using the 3 seashells.
Yeah, they're already using the 3 seashells. That's right. Or swearing at their. You've been fined 1 credit. So.
Sorry, I got
Bird got killed.
I got you off your train of thought.
Blow up, man. So so those people are going, and then eventually that'll come down. And when it comes down, the toilet paper manufacturers and people like that will all of a sudden be like, "Oh shoot, we've overrun the business."
Yeah.
And now we have to sell the stock.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm gonna buy.
Yeah.
Because you idiots already have.
Yeah, like a supply for the next 3 years.
The next 3 years. So you're not buying anymore, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of cheap toilet paper.
Yeah.
Because if I run out of toilet paper, I'm just going to use something else.
See, and we went to Costco and we bought a pack because we get like the big, not the Kirkland, like not the Costco brand, but we get one of the other brands there, and it's like we bought probably like not even a week before you start seeing these posts on like social media and stuff like that about people buying like ridiculous amounts of toilet paper. It's like, I guess it is a good thing that my wife realized that we probably needed toilet paper and decided to buy a pack.
Yeah, like we still have toilet paper. We're probably good for another 2 weeks. So hopefully but then it'll be back in stock. But we even tried to order on Amazon. We couldn't get anything for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And my wife started to get a little bit worried, like, what are we going to do? And I was like, I don't even know.
Are they out of stock at all the other stores in town?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We didn't check. We didn't really.
Yeah, exactly.
We really don't care that much.
No.
We can get by on other things.
Like you said, you can use cloths.
There's
and
cloths.
The laundry still works.
There's cloths. There's Kleenex. There's baby wipes, because baby wipes didn't run out, which was weird. I was like, well, if worse comes to worse, we'll just buy baby wipes. Who cares?
Yes.
Right?
But they're not flushable. Even though they say they're flushable, they're not flushable.
Don't do that. My brother they used flushable baby wipes and they backed up his sewer.
Yes. Don't flush baby wipes.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
Even if they say so, don't do it.
That's right. That's right.
Right now, the only thing that we can do is stop hitting the panic mode. So please, if you're listening to me, I mean, imagine most of our listeners aren't this type anyway.
Hopefully not.
Because if you are,
sorry. Not sorry.
I'm not even sorry. You're a goddamn moron. Unless you're buying because you're worried that you won't be able to get some later. I understand that.
Different story.
If
you're buying what you would normally buy, that's one thing. If you're hoarding,
if you're panic buying because other people are panic buying, I understand that logic, right? Like, because once people start panic buying, you have to, like, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, you can do that and only buy what you need, not buying like 20 packages of it.
Yeah,
right.
We're not even the worst. Australia's worse. Australia's government has to step in. Like, we're close that, well, I mean, I don't think Ford's going to do it, but pretend that we had a good government
maybe
who is willing to step in. I don't know who would have to do it.
Would have to do which?
Would have to actually regulate it. Like, say that you can actually ration it. Like, say, okay, you can only take enough for your family, so you can only take 48.
Would that be provincial or federal though? Like, would
I
that
have
would
no
that
idea.
be? I guess it would potentially be a little bit of both, because you'd have like public health, I would assume, which is federal, and then you'd have ministries of health, which is provincial, because I would assume they'd have something to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know who would have to do it, but anyway, it'd have to be a coordinated effort, which would be
good luck,
right? So, but like, really, the government needs to step in and say, listen, you cannot buy 4 big packages of toilet paper. You're buying it because you're worried that it's going to run out. Other people are in the same boat. Please stop doing it. So a panic buy has triggered more panic buys. So the people that are initiated, those are the dumb people. Not if you're reacting, I understand.
I know what's happening. Sorry, I know what's happening. Okay.
All right.
So because of the correction in the stock market, people are taking their money out of the stock market. They're putting it into toilet paper futures, with the intention of reselling the toilet paper futures when this all comes down. And then they're going to take the profits from the toilet paper futures and put it back in the market when it hits the bottom.
I'm so glad you said futures too. My basic final conclusion, COVID-19 is not a thing you have to worry about. Stop worrying about it. News, stop covering it for the life of you.
Well, okay, hold on.
Stop buying all my toilet paper for God's sakes. I want to wipe my bum.
I mean, again, I'm okay if media covers it, but it doesn't need to be the leading story every day. And you don't have to have dramatic music that makes it sound like it's the end of the world. That's all I would say.
Cover it if something happens.
Yes, that's what I mean.
A change. And a big change. If it's a small change, it needs a small amount of the news coverage.
If it's the government putting together a committee that's going to deal with COVID-19, that's not significant enough. Especially if they're not doing anything yet.
If it's a committee, how many committees are created a day?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what was it with the blockades? It was the incident response group. Well, that's another committee.
Now the blockades are more of a topic than COVID-19 is.
Yeah.
There was layoffs. There was major transportation issues. That was a huge problem.
And those layoffs were mentioned once. They were mentioned like one, maybe 2 days.
I guess
that's
maybe because I care about those kind of things, I actually paid attention to that.
Yeah.
Like, I was more worried about how are we going to get these goods. Like, these goods back up. They can go bad. This is a huge problem.
Yeah. That's more of a concern.
Right. And as a person who believes in First Nations rights, I didn't know enough about it, which is why we haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
And I cannot pronounce their name anyway, so I'm not going to try.
Oh, the Wet'suwet'en?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I let you do it.
Right. Well, and the only reason I get the pronunciation from hearing it from the media And I don't even necessarily know if they're pronouncing it correctly. Maybe that's just how they've been told to pronounce it. We don't know enough about Indigenous issues. So that's why we haven't touched them, because we don't want to sound like the ignoramuses that we are.
Yeah, no, sure. I'm an ignoramus about it, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Right? I am going to talk to somebody about it, but I mean, that's another day for another.
Yes.
Another topic for another day.
Another topic for another day. Anyways, the blockades and all that stuff means more than what's going on with COVID-19 right now. Thankfully, the blockades are almost over, but still not, technically.
Yes.
So there we go. Okay. So that's our update on COVID-19. Don't expect another one unless one of us gets sick.
I don't even think I'll give you one if I get sick. I'll survive it. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, fair
I'll
enough.
take the South Park diet of Campbell's soup and sleeping.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Anyways, COVID-19 from Poutine Politics. Don't panic. Stop buying all the toilet paper. My name's Adam.
My name's Mike.
We'll talk to you soon.